were standing outside of what was supposed to be a condo called Solemn Ocean. It was supposed to have 30 units, but only the land was cleared and construction was then abandoned.
Tulum felt like it could be everything for everyone.
It was really nice. It was a jungle. You don't find any big resort or expensive hotel.
This particular developer had the property that I really wanted. Everything about it was a dream. It was perfect.
We started looking into the real estate market in Tulum because of this construction boom. Looking at buyers and talking to them, we found a lot of investors who never got their units.
The project, it was empty, no construction workers. And in that moment, I say, okay, we have a problem.
I'd resorted to starting to comment on the developer's posts, asking, hey, I need an update. Where's my money? What's going on? Why won't you respond?
We haven't been able to trace where all of that money went because in the end, it does turn out to be millions of dollars. Tulum is a beach town that's about a 2-hour drive south from Cancun. Tulum is famous for its electronic music festivals. The beaches are gorgeous. It has a very hipster vibe. During the pandemic, Tulum and Mexico in general were places where we had little pandemic restrictions. People could just fly in and they were free to go anywhere they wanted. So like 2020, 2021, that's when we saw a construction boom starting to happen. At the time, the median price for an apartment in Miami was around $350,000, while in Los Cabos, another Mexican beach town that's also very famous, the average price was around $465,000.
Tulum has seen an enormous amount of development. A lot of people wanted to buy second homes there, and a lot of developers wanted to come in and develop there. If you go, you can expect to see developments one after the other. It can feel like one giant construction site.
Many of these properties were small condos, and they started at around $160,000. So this was an affordable option that offered a lot. We're in the building that was supposed to be called Solemn Downtown. And we can see here a permit that was granted in 2021 under Aquela Development Group. We have two groups of investors. In one of them, there were 6 projects that had to be delivered around 2023 and 2024.
Bienvenidos a Solemn Downtown, Tulum!
The people behind the development group basically disappeared. Government officials said one of them was found dead on a beach, another took his own life, and the third is thought to have fled the country.
Out of the 6 projects that they wanted to build, only 1 was ever delivered. 2 of them were half-built, and the rest is just land that's sitting there. And the people who bought into these, they were buying the apartments pre-sale, so they paid 80–90% of the value of the apartment, and now they don't even have a company to sue.
I've been going to Tulum for about the last 15 years and Mexico in general since I was a little kid. I just really fell in love with Mexico. And so when the opportunity came to finally buy something, I kind of jumped on it. This particular developer had the property that I really wanted. Everything about it was a dream. It was perfect. Initially, I had wanted to buy something that was already built, but in working with my realtor, she told me, you've got a better opportunity to get something that's brand new. It's less expensive when you buy something through a pre-sale. You can pay over time rather than doing one large lump sum payment. And as a single income, that was really attractive. The person I met with from the developer was a gentleman named Victor. He was their lead salesperson, and he took me around to visit a couple other properties, showed me the renderings and the architectural drawings for Solemn Skyview, told me how they were sourcing everything from essentially within 360 miles of Tulum, which was really attractive to me as far as it being sustainably built and a lower carbon footprint.
One thing that many people told us was that because the first building had already been delivered by the time that they bought into it, they felt like it was a sure bet.
In the beginning of the process, the developer sent me videos on a pretty regular basis showing, hey, look, we've started clearing the land. A couple weeks later, all of the land has been cleared. Oh, here's an update. All of these materials have been ordered. They're starting to get delivered. And then eventually an email came that there was a land dispute and that I should stop making payments.
All of these contracts, at least in the first group, had a 90-day grace period. Even before those 90 days came up, the construction companies started messaging the owners and telling them that there were some delays. By the time that those 3 months ended, many people started reaching out to the company and scheduling Zoom calls, and they just didn't show up.
After that, there were no further communications from the developer. They would not respond to any phone calls or emails. And within a year of that is when I started connecting with other people, mostly through Facebook and Instagram, saying they were having the same issues. I went to Cancun to file a complaint with the federal prosecutor's office.
Some of these investors have gone to multiple courts. There's a civil court, a criminal court, mercantile court, but it's unclear at this point what their resources are.
It's all been very convoluted and confusing. Not a lot of good advice on what to do next.
Lyubov was a woman who had bought land in Tulum a few decades ago, and she paid her taxes as a normal person would. And then during the pandemic, offices were closed, so she didn't go for a couple of years. When she returned in 2021 to pay the taxes for that year and the previous one, she was told that the property taxes for her land had already been paid for. So when she started looking into it, she found out that Aquila Development Group had already paid the property taxes on her behalf, claiming the land as its own, and started building what was supposed to be a property called Solemn Skyview.
El mismo día que nos dimos cuenta de esa situación, empezamos a investigar. Mi nombre es Emiliano Silva, vengo en representación de mi mamá, Lyubov Prudkovskaya. Nosotros queremos ir en contra de los notarios, los cuales hicieron las operaciones. Supuestamente en el año 2012 firmamos un poder para que otra persona que nosotros no conocemos venda ese terreno.
This is a fairly common problem in Tulum and in the Yucatan Peninsula in general because of how uneven land regulation is. There's still a lot of communal land, and developers, some of whom have turned out to be shady, have used this to their advantage, and they overtake land that didn't belong to them.
Primero, queremos recuperar ese terreno que es nuestro patrimonio. Es patrimonio de nuestra familia y es el único patrimonio que tenemos. Y otra cosa que queremos también es que se haga justicia. Lo que queremos es evitar que más gente sufra esto mismo que estamos pasando.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Oiga, vengo a la oficina de ventas.
Another case that we found, it involves a company that wanted to build 50 units, and they were sold to 35 investors because some of them bought multiple apartments. And in that case, it seems that the original developer ran out of money, took out a loan, failed to pay that loan, and the creditor took over the building, finished building it, and then resold the units to new buyers.
I decided to be anonymous because I'm scared to happen something with me or my business, or you don't know what can happen in Mexico. The name of the project when we find this was Laguna Azul, because in the center of the project have a big Laguna Azul. That means a big blue pool. The name of the company, it was Oigra Tulum. The owner of the project was Amir. We started looking at problems in 2017 in the area because we have a contract and the contract is ending and the project is not finished. I traveled to see the apartments and the project, if it was continued or not. And that moment, the project it was empty, no construction workers. And in that moment, I say, okay, we have a problem. This new developer make a deal with Amir in the shadows of the legal process. Start to sell the apartments in the end of the 2022. And the last travel I do in May 2024, I saw new people living in my apartment. Now I have 7 years in the legal process and I feel exhausted because every time I receive a document for the court is not good information. But in the end, I think I need to continue.
A lot of people who bought apartments in Tulum back in the pandemic did get their apartments delivered. And at first it was a solid investment and they were able to rent it out for practically all year long. But then as supply started growing and also digital nomads stopped going to Tulum, started heading back to their homes, demand plummeted. And so an apartment that used to be rented out at like maybe $300 a night can now go for as low as $50 a night. So people who were expecting to pay their mortgages out of those rents cannot do it anymore.
I've made peace with, I've lost some money, I'm not getting it back. I still want to move to Mexico one day. I'm just going to buy something that's already built, but it's going to take a long time. I mean, that was my life savings. I don't have, $100,000 just sitting around.
We don't know if this was always meant to be a scam or if they just ran out of money or if they were in over their heads.
One lawyer we spoke with said that she is now seeing clients on a weekly basis. So I think we will probably learn more as time goes on. But as of right now, it's difficult to say exactly how widespread this is.
Nos encantaría poder buscar los medios para construir y hacer algún desarrollo ahí, pero honestamente nos da mucho miedo construir algo ahí con la incertidumbre de que en cualquier momento otra vez llegue alguien y nos vuelvan a robar de la misma manera.